Okay, mic check, mic check. Should be able to see in here. Mr. Blue here, TradePhantoms.com. Today's date, Tuesday, March 11th, 2025. Go through about an hour, give or take, of some pre-market prep, and this market is a very volatile one, so hopefully everybody's trading safe and doing okay, adapting to this volatility. All right, I'm gonna kick this thing off here. Still kind of ghetto off the phone here. All right. So, yeah, let's dive in. Let's dive in. Mr. Blue here, TradePhantoms.com. So, just real quick, just to noteworthy here regarding some economic news for today. Not much, just at least scheduled. The news line is the news. There's no shortages of news headlines these days, right? We all kind of know what's going on in the world right now, right? So, tariffs and all that kind of stuff, right? Kind of uncertain. The point that I'm trying to make real quick for today is Tuesday being March 11th is 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do have JOLTS, job opening data. So that's going to be something that you might want to take a note of, especially if you're trading off the open, okay, from 9:30 to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And tomorrow is essentially where we have the major economic news for the U.S., I would say, core CPI. So that's a big one there. Okay, Canada got its rate statement as well for Forex currency traders as well. I trade Forex as well. And then we got core PPI on Thursday, and then Friday, consumer sentiment. So we do have a couple of things here on the backdrop of some news, some major news today. Nothing too crazy other than the JOLTS data at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you want to make a note of that. As it stands right now, we got a VIX of, it's up slightly. Yesterday, VIX put in a decent little bar to the upside. Vol still being a little suppressed here. We were touched up about, 18% on the VIX. So we'll see if this market continues to drop lower, then this VIX could potentially continue to spike higher, legging into some sold premium up into these levels here with my long-term accounts, my IRAs and so on and so forth. So legging into that, did another one yesterday. Okay, but I'll get to the futures markets in a moment. I'll do that right now, actually. Let me do this here real quick, get this out of the way. I always bring this up every single day, no matter what. Super important here. Monthly, weekly, daily. Okay, demand, supply, backdrop of institutional order flow of how we trade at Phantoms. Okay, orange, yellow, blue, the color code for these associated time frames. So monthly is orange, yellow is going to be associated with weekly charts or time frames. Daily is going to be blue. So you'll see those colors kind of in the background as I kind of do my thing here. Okay, and then we got bullish candlesticks, location being most important, bearish candlesticks, location being most important. We speak about this, all this kind of good stuff here. Okay, and then liquidity map, super, super, super important. Okay, and if you know what you're doing, get on the right side and ride. Okay, so lately I've just been doing that. Okay, trying to do the best of my ability of what I'm regarding the strategy. Okay, executing properly, right? Riding these markets lower if lower, riding the markets up if higher. Okay, and potentially taking some what's called bounce trades while we're riding the right side. So that's something that with the focus of also looking at the bigger picture as well, right? As a couple stocks are, meaning FANG, they are coming into some interesting higher time frame levels, and I'll see if I can go through a couple of those in a moment as we go through the pre-market prep. That said, I will start off here with the major four indexes. All right, futures are kind of all over the place right now. Major four indexes of futures here. This is think or swim. All right, I got the S&P futures upper left, Dow, I always say that wrong. S&P upper left, NASDAQ upper right, Dow Jones low left, Russell 2000 bottom right. Futures were all over the place. Kind of, we're still like inside day. Here's today's candle, or this morning's candle, or last night into today. They were down they were down a bit here. I had this level 55.66 here, down a bit here. Okay, then they were up a little bit overnight as well, or in the early morning. Now they're kind of giving back their gains a little bit, basically flat. Okay, S&Ps are basically flat. Where we closed yesterday, Nasdaq flat. Everything's flat for the most part. Russell 2000 is up 0.54%. Okay, I don't know what that's doing, but it's a little odd. All right, but yeah, as you can see, here's a daily time frame of the S&P futures. So you can see drop continues, right? So this walk down drop is there's nothing else to say other than it's continuing to drop, right? We get that 200 period moving average here. All right, everybody was kind of talking about that over this weekend here. All right, we gap down below that on SPYs and Qs. And then yesterday we had a nice little flush, not even a flush day, just a nice trend day low, making lower low, lower highs, lower low, lower highs, just riding puts. Okay, just riding puts intraday. All right, and then we took a little bounce trade. I was with the group yesterday late session. All right, took a little bit of a bounce trade late day. All right, as we ran the puts, and then markets closed close to the lows. Took a little bit of a bounce later in the day, but nothing nothing too crazy at all. Right, futures as mentioned, as you can see, they were up a little bit, down a little bit, up a little bit. Now they're kind of flat. All right, so just mapping out our levels. Now I will say, just because it's a little bit more, I would say, organized, or not organized, but a bit more cleaner. I did try to clean this up a little bit here for the group, but essentially it's coming down into certain areas where, either this area or this level's gonna hold this 555, 560 handle in SPY, since SPY, or if it's gonna give out, and we might be able to see some 540s, okay, 530 SPY handles here, which is gonna be SPX about 5,500. Okay, so I got 5,500 as a put that I would be looking at in the event that I want to get long put, if we continue to fade lower today, or continue to go lower, not fade, just continue to go lower today. Okay, now after yesterday's big move, sometimes we would have what's called a digestion day. We'll see about that. Okay, we haven't really been getting a lot of those lately. We've just been getting these little bounces here and there. Okay, so we have to be courteous of that. I'll get to the levels in a moment. Okay, on the smaller time frames. But just in case you might not be able to see it on the said smaller time frames, the next level lower that I'm looking at on the S&P futures for a Globex trap, I'm not going to write this down. 5490. Okay, 5490. That is roughly about the area on the SPY and SPX at or around this 5,500 area here. Okay, so I'm gonna be mapping out the SPY and the Qs as well, but on the S&P futures, 5490, okay, 5475, also a level of interest lower down there. And then I'm gonna map out the upper supply zones as well on the smaller time frames. Nasdaq came down lower yesterday. I actually dipped in to finally, yesterday was my first little dip in to some bullish exposure on the Nasdaq. Came down into, this is QQQs on a daily time frame. Have this level down here, kind of mapped out 471.65. Okay, that unfilled gap right there we filled yesterday. Kind of took a position off here. Okay, so I got some bullish exposure on that. I'll come back to that in a moment. Okay, back to futures on a daily time frame. Again, this multi-level eventually got taken out. Orange level dipped in once, twice. Inside bar break lower. Okay, so we're breaking lower. Did have a couple levels down in here, 19,325, 19,250, 19,140. We kind of dipped down into this level, kind of bounce. We kind of bounced off that right now. Okay, if you can see that, Nasdaq's fairly flat right now off the open. All right. Did you get? That's a great question, Jason. So in Qs, all I did was I got directional. Picked up some long calls here at the 471, but in SPY, I have sold puts at 560, 550, and then I picked up 540s yesterday. These are sold puts, but I also have some long calls as well coming in here. I did my second scale in with the folks in the room yesterday down here at level B at call it SPYs 559 down here on the daily time frame on this below this weekly low gap fill liquidity sweep here. Okay, so again we'll see. Okay, right now futures painting a negative COG bar on the 60-minute bar. So I'm going to get to the small time frames in a moment. But I got sold put exposure on some SPYs. Okay, willing to own Okay, 560, 550, 540. All right, taking in about 10 bucks a premium on these per clip for the Aprils. Okay, and then I got some bullish exposure here on the SPY. I got second scale. I got one more position that I could potentially put on, but I might wait a little bit for that, just in terms of scales. Okay, so let me drop down to small time frames. Well, I mean, we'll see. Right now, what I'm looking at is this below this monthly low of October and November. The next monthly low is September, all the way down here. So we get some like open space here, right? And there's there's just a couple of levels that are decent on the small time frames. It's fairly fresh and prime, give or take, but it's not the greatest location because we're kind of in the middle of in the middle of this monthly low here, meaning the September low, and then we have the October and November lows here, right? So this is kind of a level that's not as obvious, where typically if markets do drop, everybody, it's kind of in the middle here. So the point is, either this is gonna be a potential flush, and we have a little bit of a dead cat bounce here, or we're just gonna just plow through this level and come lower down into the 545, 540 handle and the spies. Okay, so on the daily time frame, we're outside of 2 standard deviations and things like that. All right, I was expecting the VIX to be up a little bit more higher yesterday when the Nasdaq was down pretty significantly, coming down into that level. Okay, but if we get some kind of little bit of a bounce here, I'm going to be taking some profit. Okay, I'm not looking to be a hero here. I'm not sure if this is going to be the bottom here, but we'll see, right? I would not be surprised if they come down here at the 540s and have some liquidity sweep below September's low down in here. Now that won't be good for the long calls up here, and I got some sold puts, okay, on this too, but I got 540s, I got 550s, got 560s. Right now my smallest size on the 560s, already started to take some profit on that for a couple times here. So the 550s and 540s next. If you get a little bit of a move up or a bounce up, I'll start to take some profit on these sold puts and potentially even roll out my first scale in of the long call. Not sure how I'm going to deal with that just yet, but we'll see, right? I will see how it goes. So the one thing I will say, to smaller rabbit hole here, but one thing I will say is, yesterday, and even if today we do make an equal to or new low, a bit of a correctional move is needed. So even when markets are dropping really, really, really fast, you do get these kind of bounces here. Okay, so that's the question. When are we going to get? Now we've been having these bounces. Don't get me wrong. We've been having these bounces below these October's lows. We've been having these bounces here. Okay, these don't look significant, but these are like over 100-point bounces here. Okay, because that's the SPX is moving at over 100 points a day, give or take, from high to low. ATR is expanded. Okay, so we'll see. All right, we'll see. If I get to the actually, that being said, if I go to, say, the 60-minute time frame of the S&P futures, which is where I was going to go to next anyways, regardless, that was the SPX on a 1-hour time frame. This is the S&P futures on a 1-hour time frame. Map out the Globex low here, represented by that blue line. Globex high here. Okay, so if we break Globex low, again, I'm looking at that 54.90, okay, 54.75, okay, 54.90. I know you can't really see it. It's just a little green line right there. 54.90, where my cursor is on the bottom right. Okay, I know it's annoying, it's screaming through the phone. It's annoying. 54.75. Okay, that would be the potential Globex trap long. Okay, if we make equal to or new low, lower low down into those levels. Okay, Globex trap short would be, here's the Globex high. Do I have supply above the Globex high? And indeed, we do, right? So we have a drop. There's a basing, there's a drop right here. By the way, these are all kind of levels that, kind of hit, tagged, bounced off of, right? Hit, tag, little bounce, then we finally broke that. So these are going to be used as supply zones on the other side. So we'll call it 57.07. So this would be a G-trap short. It's called Globex trap short. All right, this was a nice little bounce area here. 56.80 took a nice little bounce. Okay, so this is what's happening here lately. I've just been buying puts for the most part intraday. SPX riding down, equal to new lows, riding them, and then being patient, picking my spots for a little bit of a bounce. Okay, and that's you know that's what I would continue to expect to do. And what I'm doing here is as well as on these equal to or new lows. Okay, I'm starting to leg into some swing longs on these equal to or new lows. Okay, so with the team yesterday, as we're making these new lows down in here, you know, this is where we picked up some of those Qs and those SPYs. Okay, could be wrong though. All right, we'll see. Okay, we'll see. All right, so that supply zone that I just mapped out there, 57.707, drop, basing a bit of a drop here. All right, I'll make a red box here to illustrate the supply here. Drop base, drop, IBI. All right, that is old, right? This took a bounce here. I'll delete this, I guess, right? Nice little bounce here, 56.80. I'll just delete that just to clean that up. So target area for shorts, TP, and then potential buy to enter for mean revert. Okay, quadrant 1 and 4. So it's kind of what I'm operating on so far for the past, I'd say 2 weeks. Okay, if we get above here, I could just make this. This is a gap fill here, 57.70. So this is a gap fill. Well, it's an unfilled gap now. This could also be used as a G trap area, short. This is ES, S&P futures. $57.70. Okay, give or take. And then we have that 58.55, 58.85 up here too. Now that has to do with the weekly break, weekly demand, pop. We were talking about this break, close. It's not the primest level in the world here, but it's that weekly break. So 58.55. Now, if we get up to 58.55 today, tomorrow, whatever, we have CPI, some things happening, right? Definitely, this is an area where you want to TP and take some profit on TP, take profit on bullish exposure, meaning SPY, bought calls, and or SPY sold puts. Okay, it's 58.55 on the S&P futures. Okay, and for the bearishness, this is where I'd want to get. I'd want to lean a little bit more bearish as we correct more. Okay, up here, a nice prime level, which would be awesome, would be the 59.47 handle on the S&P futures. That would be awesome. This is exactly where I'll be looking to get some short bearish exposure, heavier up here. Okay, I'll just make a note of that real quick, and we'll move on. So 59.50. This is going to be nice for bearish swing exposure. Okay, so I'm short in this market, don't get me wrong, intraday. Okay, but I'm being a little careful here as we're getting lower down, and we got FANG coming down into some major levels on the monthlies and the weeklies, kind of all at the same time. So just want to be a little cautious on that because you know, I don't want to get short to end at the bottom potentially. I'm not calling this is going to be the ultimate bottom, but I don't want to get too short exposure down here, then have some kind of rip your face rally off, right? So if I want to short, I want to have a bigger correctional move to the upside. Okay, that comes in about 59.50 handle. I would love that on the S&Ps. All right, of course, we're gonna see 58, 55. That's, the overnight lows. So we'll see if we take out these lows or not. Okay, right now, negative COG print on the 1 hour time frame on the S&P futures right there. Okay, so we're on VWAP right now, 20 moving average 50s sloping down. Okay, so we got lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, and the momentum that we've been seeing over the past 2-3 weeks. Okay, negative COG. We should be able to get some continuation lower off of this. Okay, now if this bar has what's called no fall through and this bar gets potentially taken out, okay, that could also be giving us a little telltale sign that at least for right now, this market might be at a pause for maybe continuing lower. Okay, so we'll see if that bar gets taken out. That would be pretty interesting. Okay, Nasdaq, I'll go quicker. 909 already. All right, got a couple levels down here. Great, new lows, bounce, 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 bounce. Globex high, Globex low. Globex low here. Off to 19,140. Globex high here. All right, gotta kind of clean these lines up here, but we got some supply here. I'll keep the 19.9. Right, you got some nice bounces out of here. Great, 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 whatever. Okay, so I'll just clean this up a little bit. I'll keep this one on and identify this area here, 19,990. Around that 20,000 area. Could be a G-trap short. All right, we got a couple levels here. Could be a liquidity sweep above here, this orange line here. So this could be setting up for a trap right up here too. 20,425. This one would be nice. Above this orange number here, 20,250. Okay, that's the monthly zone that worked once, twice, 3 times here. Finally started absorb, break, close. So up here, 20,425 would be a nice G trap. That would be great if it happened kind of today into tomorrow. So definitely want to map that out. $425. All right. Lower on NASDAQ, man, we're looking at like, what is this, 18,000, what is it, 18,880. 18,880 down here for a new kind of new low. Globex trap long. All right. All right. And as always, I'm going to map out the Qs as well associated with this, these levels. All right. All right, VIX, moving on here, VIX. Again, a little slightly higher, 0.61, nothing too crazy there. We'll see how everything unravels. We got some FANG stocks, some up, some down. Okay, yesterday was a bloodbath for FANG. Most sectors here, extended market, extended hours, pre-market, some of them are green, some of them are green, some of them are red, nothing too crazy. Tech up, what, 0.36%. Okay, so we'll see if that continues, right? A lot of the sectors, everything for the most part was down yesterday, right? For the most part, everything was down, all sectors wise. All right, make sure you take us a profit on XLY down here. We're short that sector. Okay, XLY, XLE, looking to cut this. We had a couple profit taking here. All right, and then our utilities starting to build up a little bit out of yesterday's kind of nice drop yesterday in the markets. Utilities held bids pretty significantly, talking a lot about powering AI, right? So utilities sector is getting a little interesting as of late. Technology, don't sleep on it here, as the kids would say. We are coming down into some certain levels down in here. We talked a bit about that on Monday's session. All right. Let me go to here, SPYs. All right, pre-market quote. I got a lot of notes here, so I know it's kind of hard to see and things like that, but I got to keep notes for the team of what we're doing. Okay, pre-market quote right now, not much. Slight little gap down here. Okay, these blue lines or green lines, I should say, whatever, these green darker lines here are where we took action on SPYs. So I just want to keep a note of that. All right, first scale, second scale, third scale. Okay, third scale of sold put, but I got one more bullet for long calls, but I might want to wait on that. All right, we'll see how that goes. All right, these are in drawdown. The ones on Friday that I got in are in drawdown. Okay, for right now. Qs picked up a little bit yesterday on this. All right, first scale in here, blue begins to pick up. All right, pre-market quote 473.17, right? So we got in at 471. So we'll see, a little gap up, nothing too crazy here. All right, yesterday's massive bearish candle here. It needs to do a lot of work, okay, to get back above yesterday's high, right? So yesterday's high, yesterday's low, all that kind of good stuff, right? So there is now an unfilled gap here, so it's going to be pretty interesting. Today is pre-day, CPI Eve, the day before CPI. Wouldn't be surprised if market kind of calmed down just a little bit today. I don't know if that's going to be the case. We'll see. And just kind of see how CPI CPI might come out, but we'll see. Okay, I want movement, so I actually hope that's not the case. Okay, I hope it actually moves a lot as it has been. Apple. All right, what I will do here really briefly is I will go over into. I'll put the monthly here on the left. If you can kind of make that out. Okay, I got monthly here on the left, and I'm trying to zoom in as best I can. And so what I've been doing with the team lately is, and I got put daily over here on the right. Okay, so daily on the right, monthly on the left. This is Apple. And what I've been doing lately with the team is, I've been mentioning during these times, make sure you go to the higher time frames. Okay, so I got, for example, like January slash November's low down in here. I got September's low down in here. So these monthly lows, right? And so you can see these little levels down here on the lows on in orange. Okay, so and you'll see like Apple got a bunch of kind of levels down in here, right? It's been tested, all that kind of good stuff, right? But we just been clipping down here and then bouncing back up. So below these monthly lows are going to be pretty interesting in the event that this market continues to flush down and come down. We get big stocks like Apple, coming down into some interesting levels, right? So that would, if you look at the monthly lows of like January and September, it comes in about 214, 220. So anything from like 220 Apple to like maybe call it 210. Okay, that's about a 10-point area here that you could work on, and where staying away from all the fear and stuff like that that's going on in the news. Just be logical. Okay, you got an area down here. You got areas down here in the monthlies that could be a bunch of liquidity sweeping potentially down here. And Apple got a nice little 220 down to 210 area here. We got a couple of monthlies and weekly lows where we can pick off some potential bullish exposure. Okay, all right, especially if it gets down there pretty fast. Okay, that's what happens typically when you get like a big flush down. Okay, you typically comes find some liquidity and you get some nice little rebound bounces out. Okay, so that comes in. So it's not just about what is happening today. We have a gap down today in Apple. Okay, we're coming down into a certain level here. Don't get me wrong. There's an unfilled gap here, so I'd be careful with this one. All right, but again, during these times, I want to make sure if I'm getting long or bullish, I want to make sure that I got the monthlies and weeklies. You tell me that the market are going to zero. Joe Frank, right? So if I'm trying to quote unquote like pick off a bottom or trying to get stocks really low or cheap, okay, I want to be extremely patient and let those monthlies, those monthly levels come to me, right? So Apple 220 down to 210, not bad here. Wide zone here, but you can work on that. Okay, down in that area. Amazon's one of them as well. Now I'm already long Amazon for the record. Okay, I already picked up some here. Okay. However, today daily time frame over here on the right, zooming in a bit. All right. No gap here today. All right. Just kind of parked where we closed yesterday. Okay. But on the left here, I got the monthly time frame. Right. I got a couple of yellows and oranges and blues here. Right. Unfilled gap 186.50 in Amazon, massive one there. Okay. And then we got the October low down here calling about 180 here. So again, Amazon down to 186. Okay. Down into the 180. These monthly lows, okay, could potentially be those liquidity sweeps. So if this continues to flush, okay, and we continue to drop lower, okay, we get some demand on the monthlies and the weeklies over here to the left. So y'all can see that over here. Okay, I'm hoping. All right. So yeah, we get that black line right there is yearly VWAP, unfilled gap 186.50, 186.50, right? And then we got 180 is the October low. All right, so a little more further down, pre-market quote, no gap here. Avgo, Broadcom. Same thing here, I got monthly on the left. I got December's, November's lows, 162, 157 over here to the left. All right, we got a couple of gap fills here. A couple of gap fills here. 171.80s down in here. All right, but Avgo, Broadcom, 165 handle might be pretty interesting here as we get down into closer to that December and November lows. That creates a zone here, right? So yeah, we'll see. These mega fang stocks, yes, they're at good, decent areas right now. Don't get me wrong, okay. But if we do happen to go lower, which we could continue to do, okay, don't look at the higher time frames, okay, because the better levels are a bit more lower on the monthlies. Okay, Google, I did pick up a little bit of Google yesterday as we are inside of these levels here. This is Google monthly on the left. Okay, so I got some November's low here, got October's low, same thing here, right? So I got a couple of gap fills here. Google gap down yesterday. It came down to this area here. I just picked up some long, a little bit of long exposure, nothing here. What the 185 strike for like $1.95, April 17th expiration. Okay, no big deal. If we come lower down in breaking the November low, we get an unfilled gap 164. Okay, October low about 161 handle. Okay, unfilled gap right below there too as well. So just saying, just very similarly to everything that I've been just mentioning with the other tickers that I've been mentioning. Okay, during these times, make sure that you zone out, go to the higher time frames. Okay, and make sure that you're prepared for price points that potentially get hit, okay, during quote unquote volatile and uncertain times. Okay, that's Google. All right, as far as today, no gap at all, so there's no even reason. Slight gap down, no big deal. Tesla, all right, for the record, I got long some Tesla calls over here at 151, nailed the bottom on Friday with the team. They were printing pretty nicely, but then on Monday morning, of course, gap down, and Tesla got destroyed down 15% yesterday, right? So I still have those calls. Luckily, I TP'd a little bit, okay, on them, but I'm floating down on them currently right now, okay? However, I am looking at Tesla. All right, that was like my first scale in. Okay, I've been waiting on Tesla for a while now. Okay, the level here, October, September lows, but 211, 209, give or take. Okay, also have an unfilled gap at 206. Okay, 206 on Tesla, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's a level on level. There's a bunch of levels down in here. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised if they break 200. Okay, and come down into the 198 handle on Tesla. That would be pretty interesting. Make that blue to represent daily demand. There's a little bit of an IBI right below, right here, under. It's about 198 price point, give or take. Okay, right under all the September, October low, and below this weekly low. That's like kind of a random weekly low right there. Okay, so I wouldn't be surprised that 198 handle if that comes into play on Tesla. But we have massive levels that have this unfilled gap here. Okay, there's a bunch of monthly lows down in here too as well. So the 210 handle could potentially be interesting. All right, I'm gonna have to sell some puts on this, right? But I'm gonna see if we can get down a bit more lower, and then to potentially sell some puts lower All right, so I want to pad this lightly. Okay, I want to pad this lightly, but Tesla down 15% yesterday. I was actually one of the ones that really took it down, along with Apple. All right, the markets. Microsoft, super interesting level here. If you look at the monthly over here to the left, 374 ish down to 365. So again, like a nice little 10-point zone here on the monthlies that you can really start to work on here. This is a level that has not been tested in Microsoft in quite some time. We've just been basing up here, like a wide range up here for essentially all of end of Q4 and into Q1 of this year, right? So we finally broke this level, okay, on this monthly. It was just monthly lows that were just holding, right? And then finally this whole fiasco that we're going through right now brought this down, right? So this level down over here is super interesting though. Okay, Microsoft, 370, 365. There's a little sneaky monthly low right down in here at the December low that you might want to make a note of, which comes in at 362.90. So this is December's low. $362.90. Down over here, right? And we got the January low here too as well, 366. 66. Bad numbers there. All right, so pretty interesting. The gap today, close here, slight gap down, inside gap, but yes, Microsoft is gapping down. Tesla, no gap. So FANG is gapping down. All right, mostly inside gaps, but gapping down nonetheless. S&P futures. 3 minutes before open here. All right, there's a little bit of fall through on that negative COG so far. All right. So we'll see if we get fall through here. Meta yesterday dipped into an interesting spot in price here. Pulled back, final rip. Woo! They got TP'd some stock on portfolio here, and got a nice drop. December low might be an area of a sweep. A little bit of an unfilled gap here too. 575.65. Meta's coming down into some areas as well. All right, December low, got the November low. Some open space here on the monthlies. So it'll be interesting. The 574.50 handle could be a bit of a sweep that could provide an opportunity. All right, but also below that November low too, that's 550. So Meta, 575, 550, pick your poison. Oh, come on, man. All right, below those December lows. NVIDIA is a chart that I gotta clean up for the folks here. But NVIDIA 100, NVIDIA 100, NVIDIA 90, not bad. There's the NVIDIA 90, not $90 low is the Japan carry trade unwind event August 5th, right? So that's noted there. $100, pretty simple. 90. NVIDIA is easy to chart. Mainly this massive monthly level here to the left is from we have an impulse, a basing over here, and an impulse, right? And so the level is basically pretty simple, from 90 to 70. All right. But when you got these bigger market corrections like this, one thing that I would say as a piece of advice is, try not to just look at it as trying to pick one price as the bottom. Okay. Use the monthlies as a wider zone and learn to scale your way into a position. Okay. All right. Yes. Right now, everybody's saying that this market's going to continue to just die and crash and crash. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I guess we could, right? Don't get me wrong. But remember those big mega fang stocks in those monthly areas. Okay. Even during market crashes. Okay. You get these. You get correctional moves to the upside. Okay. Amazon outside gap lower. We might be able to get this January low on Amazon today. I'm not sure. All right. Well, there we are. We're open here. Switch this to a 30-minute on the left, 2-minute on the right. All right, be patient. Let me just get some internals here real quick. VIX overnight high, overnight low. This is VIX. Yesterday was a beautiful steady grind higher to ride shorts. We'll see how today offers. Q&F tick all day lower. Yesterday was beautiful. Just classic walk down. Advanced declines, positive 474. Nothing too extreme. Positive negative 1800 to 2000 would be extreme. Vol D slightly up, but very early, painting 1.3. Nothing too crazy there. All right, Amazon's right before open looked like it was going to have a gap down, but that got taken back immediately. Interesting. All right, let's see. JP Morgan, super interesting at the 220 handle. NVIDIA. Apple gap down below 200 period moving average. Gap down below there. Apple a little weak. So you got spies. So we got a VIX spike. VIX up a bit there. let me see. Today's the 11th. So I got my eye on this 5,500 put. It's a little early right now. Spies. Let's see. Picked up a little Google yesterday. Just be patient here. Just pulling a view up for the day so far. Oracle. Yeah, decent location. This is a decent area, decent location. I'd also referenced that 125 handle too, that monthly low on the 125. Spies are slightly below its VWAP right now, but you know, take a little peek. So far, it's very early, but the Fang right now is off the open is just a little bit in relief. I want to get too crazy about excited, but it's in a little bit of a relief area, as you can see. All right. Off these new lows, so Amazon, there we go, a little bit of a bounce there. All right, Meta's on fire. Meta did come out of its monthly January's low here. All right, Meta long call, decent. Coming out of monthly location. Day trade wise. Right now, 5 minutes off open. We got that 10 o'clock JOLTS data, right? But Mega Fang right now, Mega Cap. Just off the open here a little bit, holding a little bit of some bids. All right. So a new low yesterday sat on it. So Meta's in correctional wave here. I target this gap fill 623 here. Yesterday's gap down on Meta. All right, so you can see Tesla as well, a bit of a, but I want Tesla to get a new low there. All right. right, so we're long Qs, so we can be a little patient here. Q's a little stronger than SPYs right now. So we haven't really broken anything. Haven't really. This is yesterday's view up. That's yellow, but it's going to be used as this week's view up. So it's Monday's. Yesterday's Monday. Right? Today's only Tuesday. GEX. $40 and $50. All right, so the SPX times at 1040. Super early, and have not broken anything yet. But if there were to be, I would like to see it a little bit more of a squeeze scenario on this, but I don't really see it just yet. On the GEX spot, on GEX here, 56.45. The gap fill would be 57.50 handle. Amazon up, good. Meta. Let me see what this 57.50 long call looks like right now on SPX. What did I mention? Usually I'll set up some limit orders with the team. $57.50. If you wanted to take a risk, a small risk of $1.50, if you pick up the 57.50 strike call in SPX for today, it's $1.50 risk. Worst case scenario. Right now we didn't break anything, but if the if we are going to have some kind of bid day today, which is super early to tell right now. This could potentially print. We would need obviously a rally up pretty significant, right? But this 57.50 strike call is going for about $1.50, $1.60. Okay, I'm gonna start to scale into that a little bit here, but I'm gonna be very cautious on this. I would not be surprised if this thing flips. So March 11, 57.50 for $1.70, give or take. Now, if you're experienced, you know what you're doing, you might have to roll these later, so on and so forth, but I just got filled on these bottom ones here, the 57.50 for $1.65. All right, extremely careful with that, but it's $1.65. Going for about $1.40 now. Now, I have no problem one bit whatsoever in the event that if I need to, of course, if this breaks down to get long put to be bearish, right? To be bearish. All right, but 10 o'clock Jolts data right now. Fang has a couple of bids here, but nothing too crazy. Do not move out of anything here. So we'll see. Apple's getting weighed down a little bit. Gap down below 200-day period moving average. Yeah, Meta's holding things up right now. Meta's already in and above yesterday's high. Good insight. Blessing. So yeah, we're getting that's why I got things are coming into, and I got some bullish exposure on already, right? We need some kind of bounce relief rally, so on and so forth. All right, got some sold puts. Man, position sizing is so important. All right, but we got some long queues yesterday. So we can be patient. All right, where we get these calls for? I'm sorry, did I say puts? We got long calls, right? So we got the 500 strike here. About these for like what, 558 yesterday. for the April 17. Going for about 680, so they're about like $1 or something here. We got some other spies though, right? We got some long SPY calls. One of them is in drawdown, the other one's up a little bit there. And then Tesla's in a bit of a drawdown too. All right, cool. All right, so yeah, just be patient today, folks. We got news at 10, right? News at 10. There's Amazon, bit of a ripper there. All right, Fang looking good, decent so far, but we'll see. Tesla put F4, F240. Yeah, if you like wanted to lean into buying some puts to be bearish. Yeah, there's a 240, there's a bit of a drop, a basing in a drop right here. So that would be bad. If we continue to fade here today, you might almost want to keep an eye on this area here too, where people say, "Oh, it's going to fill that gap. It's going to fill that gap, like right above here," and then they get trapped. So call it like 254 ish. That could also be an area. Just if you understand liquidity. About the 254 handle ish right there. This is a 1 hour time frame of Tesla. All right, folks. I'm going to continue to manage some risk there. Just wanted to be a little bit patient with you all here regarding this. This could just be just a little quick little dead cat bounce. We'll see if we get some continuation on this. Right now, Fang is looking pretty decent, right? All right, and the positions that we are in over the work that we've done, we'll see if this continues here. All right, that SPX is a bit of a YOLO kind of in a way, right? It kind of is, not kind of it is. $1.65. We're going for about $1.20. All right, we'll see. And then yeah, news at 10. Just be patient. And other than that, if you want to learn a little bit more about this, if you're fairly new to the channel or whatever, welcome. Go to TradePhantoms.com. All right, click on register there, and that will take you to a web page that you will be able to put your name, email, pretty standard, right? And you can register for a 90-minute class, give or take, right? Thursday, March 13th is the next one, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And this is the agenda of what you'll learn. You can read that. Short-term trading, long-term wealth management, everything, stocks, futures, forex, options, crypto, everything will be hosted by Mr. Black, Mr. Green. One of them two will kind of go through. How do you stop focusing on the money? Don't watch your P&L and focus on your risk to reward ratio, the expectancy number that you have that you should know how to develop, or that you should know how to find. E equals average winner multiplied by winning percentage, parentheses, subtracting the average loser multiplied by losing percentage. That will give you an expected value of your trading, whether or not you're profitable or profitable overall, or if you're in a drawdown overall. And don't look at your P&L and count points. Like in SPX, I count points. Everything is regarding position size, yes. But if you put it down to a point base, a point metric system, which is what I do in SPX, that's my favorite thing on the planet. So I'm the heaviest in that. I bring it down to a point value, right? I lost whatever. Let's say I take $1.60 loss on these contracts that I just bought, right? Let's say I bought 10 of them, right? That's 16 points, right? $1,600, right? So that's six, right? And each point is worth $100. So I know what my risk is regarding that, right? So I'm bringing it to a point. I'm bringing it to a point value system, and so therefore it's less about the money. It's more about executing and focusing on what matters, because you don't want to be looking at your P&L, because you P&L trade, and then you take things off when you shouldn't, right? You put things on when you shouldn't, and there's a whole thing regarding that. All right, we can do a whole TED talk on that. All right, but for now, I got news at 10. I got to hit the head, refresh my coffee, and as you can see, we're not really moving that much right now. But this market, it can move any moment, and move pretty fierce. So that said, I'll see some of y'all later today for Phantoms members in the class, and then of course tomorrow morning, God willing, we'll be hitting the screens live for the live day trade room on Wednesday. Cool. For night out, trade safe, be safe. Mr. Blue out. God bless.